Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning on this very beautiful Tuesday morning. Nice and sunshiny here in Barbados. So welcome. Good to have you in company wherever you are in the world. Welcome to beautiful Barbados. I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until just around 8 o'clock this morning. And boy, do we have lots planned for you today. So you definitely should stick around if you can. Lots happening all across the Caribbean region today. It is 11 plus day. That's where the little ones have to, get out there and do this exam. Lots of stress and anxiety, especially for the parents, I would know. So stay calm, parents. They're going to be just fine. And for the little ones, just do your best. Today is also World Asthma Day, celebrated or observed on May 7th every single year. Today, we're going to have Dr. Gillian Birchwood coming in to have a little bit of a discussion. We've been hearing some disturbing news of late. They're saying that these days they're finding asthma creeping up in people in their 40s and 50s, a whole lot more than in the past. So what's responsible for that? Because usually there's asthma in childhood and it tapers off as people get older. But now we're seeing adults, older adults, 40s and 50s, developing asthma. And for the first time, so we're going to look at that. And of course, look at managing asthma in our little ones as well. Fabian Sargent is going to be here with us this morning as well. And he's brought a friend along, Nicolette Williams, Assistant Director with the responsibility for rehabilitation and therapy within the National Peace Program. And we're going to be looking a little bit about parenting and child development in our communities. So we want to make sure that you stick around for that as well. Some not so good news over the last few days about things that have been happening throughout our community. So we want to make sure that we are indeed taking care of what we need to with our young people in our community. Plus, there's a big SMS career showcase coming up and a 96th anniversary. Stephen Brown, past student, and Margaret Grant, the guidance counselor at SMS, they'll be here to talk about the history of the school. And I know lots of people in CBC will be celebrating, especially Diane Ford. Good morning to you, Dale Ford, and all of the former SMS crew. I know that you are very proud of your former school. And we're also going to continue speaking to the athletes from the Roger Boys Classic. They'll be coming through today, and I've already warned my team, the theme music has to be I Want Muscles. Of course, Whitney Houston. Yeah, because that's what it's all about. So we have a packed show for you. Again, I hope you can stick around. The little ones are going to be home today, the secondary school students, because the exam will be at their schools. Lots of them left early yesterday so that preparations could get underway. And I know today could be pretty stressful, so don't stress the little ones out, please. Usually the parents are a little more stressed out than the children themselves. So, give them a break, let them do their best, and they'll be fine. Let the chips fall where they may. They'll be fine wherever they go. But we wanted to start this morning's conversation with welcoming some familiar faces, maybe a new face to Morning Barbados, but with a cause that we've been talking about for a long time, the Sankofa pilgrimage to Barbados. The time is now. So let me go right ahead and say good morning and welcome to some wonderful people who are joining us in this segment called Conversations on CARICOM. But today we have to extend the borders. So Ambassador Komashang is here, and also joining us again this morning, Ambassador Lorenzo Witherspoon and Lois Witherspoon. Welcome. Good to have all of you with us.
Thank you,
Pleasure
Tisha.
to be here.
Good to be here.
We're here. It feels like we've been talking about this pilgrimage for a long, long time, Ambassador, and finally it's here.
Well, we are extending the eastern border of the Caribbean community all across the Atlantic to the west coast of Africa, especially to this West Coast African country, Liberia, that has so much meaning for us Barbadians. So we are so happy that we're able to welcome hundreds of our Liberian kith and kin who are on this pilgrimage back home to the land of their ancestors, led by Ambassador Lorenzo Witherspoon and his lovely daughter Lois. So that's what it's all about. It's still a conversation on CARICOM. CARICOM in Africa.
Extended border edition. Now, Ambassador Witherspoon, we were trying to decipher just before we came on air precisely when the conversations on this end started. And you said 2001, and I could barely even think that it's been so long, but we really truly have been.
2021.
2021.
2021.
Yes, 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't even feel like it's been that long that we've been in conversation. But you know, how have you passed the time in terms of what you've been doing with, you know, getting people on board to make this trek?
Well, thanks, Tisha, again. The first 6 months in 2021, it was a period of I was moving from the face of active employment with the UN in Geneva to transitioning into my new occupation as a pensioner. So those 6 months, I began laying the groundwork, foundational work for committing at least the first phase of my retirement to this project. So from the day we arrived back in South Africa, that's when all the planning began. And of course, the first thing to do was to assemble a global team of interlocutors who would give freely of their resources and their time to help us put this all together. Actually, you know, when the Prime Minister rang my bell, when I met with her in 2021 and wondered aloud whether it wouldn't be a good thing if we can bring descendants of all these people back here, I said, of course it would. Then I quickly realized after I got back to Geneva that, wait a minute, I've accepted something, a responsibility, that I now, once the bell is rang, you can't unring it. And I said, I have to go through with this. And thanks to my wife and, of course, my daughter, who have been steady supporters, we got it started. And once I got back to Pretoria, like I said earlier, it was just nonstop, just full steam.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you have to introduce your daughter, Lois, to us, because you're the one who has brought her here for the first time. So pleasure to meet you. But there's a whole lot more than meets the eye. You've been working together as well.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Lois, she planted the seed in my head when she was still doing undergraduate studies at McGill University in Toronto. Back in, what, 1999? 2000?
2012.
2012, yes.
Yeah.
And so, and in fact, she began the work of really the initial research. And so once she got done with that, and she finished her program, her undergrad degree, she had more time to commit to it. I think she had about 6 months before starting her master's, and she was home in Geneva with us, so we just went full steam at it. But I'll let her speak for herself. She's
Well, actually, it's interesting because it starts much earlier than that for me. It started around 2007, which was when we moved from South Africa back to Switzerland. And I think growing up in a majority white environment, I started to have all of these questions around who my family was and where I really came from. Those were questions I didn't even know where to begin finding the answers to. And that's what initiated my first kind of scratching of the itch of visiting some of our family in Los Angeles and getting to connect the dots between Switzerland and that part of the US. And that really unlocked something within me. I think that started this much longer process of connecting the dots much further and really spearheading this initiative with my dad of figuring out what we could actually find through online research, through archives about our family, about where we came from. And I think knowing that history, especially growing up in an environment where no one really looks like you, is even more important. And so it's just become a thread throughout the past decade of my life. And I never would have thought, if I look back to when I was about 14 years old, 15 years ago, that we'd be at this point today.
That's right.
Of not just going back a couple of years to meet family members, but being able to actually surface history from 200, 300 years. So it feels like a huge achievement to be here.
It truly is a huge achievement, and feels like full circle. A lot of people might ask, why now? But even technology has made times and things and research so much easier than it would have been years ago. We really had to go by what we found within pages and by what was told to us, and not necessarily, you know, be in a space where you can reach out to other people and connect the way that we can now, Ambassador.
Yes, and let's put it all into context for our viewers. They're here today because in 1865, a group of 346 African Barbadians, black Barbadians, answered the call of the then president of the Independent Republic of Liberia, President Daniel Warner, to migrate to Liberia. And they made this arduous trip across the Atlantic back to the home of their forefathers, 346 of them. And they planted themselves in Liberia. And this is the fruit of those roots that were planted back in 1865. That party of Barbadians went on to become a very important part of the Liberian population, producing presidents and secretaries of state and judges and business people and diplomats and scholars, and you know, and it's so wonderful that we have brought the circle, you know, right back around. So we are reconnecting through them with Liberia. Because of this initiative, Barbados has finally established diplomatic relations with Liberia.
Applause for that.
Yeah, so we are setting the foundation for a wonderful relationship to come between the two countries.
We're absolutely on our way. And I have to say a special good morning to Belle Holder. She was texting me at like 4 o'clock this morning, but I know that she knows I'm up already. So I know the BTMI will be keeping you busy while you're here.
Right.
Oh, yes.
And so coming up tomorrow, there's actually an event. They're inviting Barbadians to come out to a genealogy marketplace hosted by the BTMI at the Department of Archives. And
From 9 a.m.?
yeah,
From 9 a.m. tomorrow?
The post that they have online, they've posted quite a few of the names of Barbadians who left.
Right.
So let's share some of those names with you. Skeet Padmore Hines, that's me. Barclay Wiles, Darrell Wharton Holder, Jackman Hunt, Bourne, Cadogan, Armstrong, Worrell, Thorpe, Graves, Douglas, Innes, Gall, Doldren, Moore, Briggs, Tull, Blackett, Port, Murray, Collier, Gittins, Graves, Broome, Cadell, Brown, Clark, Austin, Devonish, and we can go on and on and on. Nurse, Goodrich, Francis, Taylor, Nelson. All of these are names that we've come to feel and know as authentically Barbadian names. Applewhite, Weeks, Cox, Jones, Lane, William, Moore. I know these are your names, so you know you should pay particular interest, and this is a great opportunity to really connect, Ambassador.
Yeah, and we're going to have over the next 10 days, well, tomorrow, and everybody's invited, huh? The whole of Barbados is invited to the genealogy marketplace tomorrow. It's going to be not just genealogy, but it's going to be culture, it's going to be everything. And then tomorrow night as well at the Barbados Museum, 6 p.m., we're going to be showing a documentary about our Barbadian Liberians in Liberia, children of Lemongrass Street. And then on Thursday, at the UW Cave Hill campus, under the big graduation tent, there's going to be a whole Barbados Liberia history exposition. So Barbadians are invited again, 9 o'clock. Then Thursday evening, there's going to be the libation ceremony at Browns Beach, just opposite government headquarters at 5:30. We're going to, all of those names, well, you mentioned the family names, but we are going to have a libation ceremony where we invoke all 346 names of the passengers on that vessel in 1865. Friday at, again, at 9 a.m., a Liberia Barbados Business Roundtable at the Hilton Hotel, sponsored by Invest Barbados. And Barbadian business people who are interested in doing business with Liberia, you really should be there. And Sunday, the 12th of May, 9 a.m. sharp at the James Street Methodist Church. We are going to have a very special church service because James Street Methodists played a very important role in that 1865 migration. That is where a lot of the prayers went up for the success of that trip back to Africa. And that trip, not a single person got ill or died on that trip, which was very, very unusual back in the 19th century. You didn't do a journey across the Atlantic and people didn't get sick or die.
Right.
But this was almost miraculous. So perhaps those prayers that went up from James Street Methodist made a big difference.
I'll hold on to that. Now, you've written a book. It's called Ports Find a New Home in Liberia.
Yeah.
And this is a book that you've co-authored with your daughter.
Yeah. Well, we did, the book is based on the paper, our first the research paper that we put out there. And I must say it represents the first time that a descendant of one of these 346 Barbadians that went back to Liberia ever put in the public domain the result of a research that's been done, genealogical research, ancestral research about their families. I would like to hope that this has triggered something. Indeed, this whole movement that began 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago, has already paid dividends. Ambassador Commission mentioned the establishment of diplomatic relations for the first time in 159 years between the two countries, but also just because of the pilgrimage, we see people, business people, organizing group trips. There's a big group being organized for 500 people coming to Barbados doing crop over by the Ghanaian blogger. He was talking about it on YouTube the other day. So the traction that this movement, and that's how I see it, as a movement, because after we leave Barbados, next year at the same time we'll be in Liberia. And that's again part of the Prime Minister's dream. She wants to take Barbadians, not only from Barbados, but from the global diaspora, Bajan diaspora, to see where the people went to Crozerville, which is where the part of the country that was given by President Warner for the Barbadians to settle in. So they would all be together, because Monrovia had the Americans that had come about 30 years earlier. And so he wanted us to have our own place in Barbados.
In Liberia.
In Liberia. And if you go there today, you would think you're in Barbados. Because there's a Bajan outpost in Liberia. And so today, as we're preparing for this event, I decided just 10 days ago that, you know what, I need to now make this paper, transform this paper into a book. So I found a printer in Pretoria, and I decided I want to do a limited edition, just print 30 copies that I can bring with me and share with my friends on the island, of course, principally the Prime Minister, as a thank you for everything we've done. We're going to run a commercial version that will go on sale globally on the 1st of September. But this limited edition, 30 copies, I want to leave as a physician's desk reference, a PDR, that This has everything. In the back here, we have the manifest of the ship. Every family, every person rather, that was on that ship coming here. So, all in all, this is where anyone who's interested in tracing their ancestry, this is a good place to start.
Oh, it's an excellent place to start, and I don't know where we're going to end, but we're going to take a break here and come back with more. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 6:30. Good to have you in company. Make sure you get out early, okay? We don't want you rushing, getting to the exam centers late with the little ones or anything like that. I know that's top of mind for you today, but as you go about your morning routine, make sure you listen in because we're bringing you some really important information, and we want to make sure that as many Barbadians as possible are heading back to Cruiserville in 2025. I'm still joined by Ambassadors Commichon and Witherspoon, and Lois Witherspoon, who is the daughter of Ambassador Witherspoon here. Wonderful to have you guys with us talking about the Sankofa pilgrimage to Barbados that commenced yesterday, May 6th.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about, what it was as you were getting ready to make that journey here. I can just imagine how charged the environment was.
It was amazing, but let me get back to the beginning. My suitcase and my carry-on bag was packed 3 weeks in advance. That's how exciting it was, I mean, not only mine, my wife's. My wife had to travel the week before going to Sierra Leone on a work mission and got back 1 o'clock the afternoon, and our flight we had to leave at 4 o'clock for the airport. So she just dropped one suitcase and picked up other suitcases. But that's just on our side. Globally, and last night, I mean, we were together, pardon my voice, until about 2 o'clock this morning. People didn't want to leave St. Lawrence Caps. They were just there. Everybody's so amazing. And everybody, in the room when we're doing the registration with BTMI, you could sense the joy, the happiness. And of course, we had them prepare some rum cocktails as well, so that helped to elevate people. And we're playing Liberian music throughout. We're playing Liberian music throughout. And people were dancing as they were registering, but the excitement. Yesterday we registered about 15 people who were not already registered.
Wow.
And I spoke with both Ambassador Commission and Senator King, and I said, look, we have more people. People are coming. And even though we only had 235 people registered, who confirmed their registration, we had 535 that had registered. We believe at least 200 of those remaining 300 and something odd people are going to come. They will all be here. They just can't be a part of the official program because we have constraints with numbers. But the excitement, I can assure you, it's palpable. People are just so very excited.
Lois, this is a full circle moment, I would imagine, for you, or
Absolutely.
at least part of the circle, because there's so much more to do. But from a place where you sought to find out more about your history and genealogy to where you're here in Barbados, what does that feel like? What are some of the most remarkable moments?
I actually arrived on Friday, so before the whole program began, to just soak up the island and get a feel for it before we officially kicked off yesterday. And it's honestly felt like home. I've said it to everyone since arriving that I've never traveled somewhere where I felt as safe and as integrated. We've rented a car, we've driven across Bathsheba to Speightstown, we've gone across the whole island. And
well, you've
people have
conquered the
been-
island already.
in just 2 days.
And she's a global traveler. She travels all the time.
People have been so warm, and it's felt like we fit right in. We fit right in. It's been
All
an
right.
incredible experience.
Your thoughts on the book, though? I know I want to peek at that manifest.
Yeah.
We have some stories even from that.
You know, it's so interesting because I'm actually a researcher in my professional life. So for me, my whole role as a researcher is understanding people and ultimately using conversation and connection to drive empathy and understanding. That's what I do day to day in my life in London working, and it's really what this book is all about. It's when you're able to bring words and knowledge together to really shed light on that historical context and give people like me, that 14-year-old version of myself, the faith that there is something here, that there's so much more to you than you actually understand. And I think that's what writing this book, co-authoring it, has really been for me. It's piecing all of the puzzles in my childhood that I could never quite connect. And I think, as my dad said, in 2025 and 2026, taking this to Liberia and to Ghana, this is just one part of the story. And now understanding, if we were to go back 100 years from the 1800s, 200 years, what more might we find out? What other pieces of the puzzle are there to discover?
And there are many.
And there are many. So I think this is a hugely pivotal moment to bring all of this together and give other people asking the same questions of where they're from, you know, what their family history looks like. It gives them a tool to hopefully scratch that itch and bridge some of that curiosity.
And bridging that curiosity, Ambassador Commission did. No sooner than you said there's a manifest in the back, I saw him searching through his own book. And I know that you have some interesting information to share as you comb through the pages. You happened upon a name, so give us that story.
Well, I found the name at passenger 253. There were 346, but passenger 253 is one Arthur Barclay, age 10 years old, religion Episcopalian, and that 10-year-old boy, that little boy that went across at 10 years old, grew up to become president of Liberia, President Arthur Barclay.
Wow.
And that Barclay family produced not just one Liberian president, but two. Edwin Barclay as well in the 1930s. And I must tell you that this resonates because perhaps the most famous member of the pilgrimage is another president of Liberia who's here with us, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the first female African president. And so, and she and Prime Minister Motley are actually going to be having a fireside chat. So just to make the point that, yes, I mean, this is full of history, this little manifest. There's so many stories here in just this list of names. And Barclay, that little boy, his father was Anthony Barclay, and who's also listed here. And he was the husband of Sarah Ann, born Barclay. And Sarah Ann, born before she became a Barclay, was the daughter of London born. And we do not really know the true story of Barbados until we know the life of London born and Samuel Jackman Prescott. Because the two of them, London born and Samuel Jackman Prescott, were those two heroic Barbadians in that early post-emancipation period, after slavery was abolished, who organized and agitated and advocated for Barbadians to go back to Africa, to take the trip like this Liberia one, to go back and to help to rebuild their ancestral continent. But by the time they managed to achieve this 1865 voyage, the two of them, unfortunately, were old men, so they couldn't go. But they were represented by London's daughter, Sarah Ann Bourne, who had married Anthony Barclay and produced, actually they produced 11 children, including this little boy, this youngest Arthur Barclay, 10 years old. So this is some of the most important history of Barbados.
It's living history.
Yeah, and we have we have to get to know it
as we look around Barbados and we have the London Board Towers in Bridgetown, for example, on Bay Street, and we hear of Samuel Jackman Prescott, to be able to put family ties behind it and bring these stories and then bring people back and show how they came to life, not only here, but across the globe. That really brings history to life, and that makes all the difference.
Let me tell you another piece of history that you probably don't know. I will present you a copy of the book.
Lois, we could talk to these two all day.
Yeah.
You have the manifest. But on this voyage, this singular historic voyage to Liberia, the largest family that was there was your family. 17 members of the Hines family were on this. It's the largest family delegation that was there. So I can assure you, you have roots. Your umbilical cord may be buried in Barbados, but your roots are in Liberia.
You just made me so emotional.
It is. It's just, and for me, it was, I couldn't believe it. What
17 members of the Hines family were on the boat?
What we did, we have another list. We deconstructed this list and reconstructed it. Because the saying was that there were 50-odd families in 346. Well, and that excludes the 14 stowaways that they found when the ship arrived in Liberia. But when we reconstructed it, we found out that, no, there were 347, not 346. And secondly, that there were 72 surnames. So not 50 families. And what we did was we grouped every singular name, like you will see when you go through this. Hines is on different groups. So maybe there were a Hines group that lived in Bridgetown. There was a Hines group that lived in St. Joseph. And they probably didn't even know each other. But when they did the manifest, you have 2 or 3, and many families are like that, names, So we put all the singular surnames together. And we came up with 72 surnames. I don't know how that happened, but that's just the way it is, So it just speaks more to the fact that these people, I don't think, and before the Cora left, there's an earlier ship, I can't remember the name now. There were people who were also planning and waiting to get on the Cora. But they were so excited, they wanted to leave so badly. I guess there was a ship here heading to West Africa, and they jumped on it.
They went to Sierra Leone.
They jumped on that ship. So there's a previous delegation whose names, a group, of families whose names are not on this manifest, but they went ahead.
Yeah.
You know, they just didn't want to take a chance. If this thing doesn't happen, because mind you, there were 3 attempts to sail, and they were both canceled because of bad weather. You know, but I think by then these guys the first group had long gone. They just didn't want to take the chance. You know, for them, they had made up their minds. They had decided within their souls that they would die trying to get to Liberia.
Lois, I know why you're a researcher. I know now, you know, what do you hope to take away from this particular journey?
I hope to take away building a generation of people who understand where they come from and have a sense of rootedness. Because if I could describe my childhood in one word amongst many, I would pick rootless. And I think when you grow up across many different countries, continents, and contexts, answering that question of where do you belong or where you feel from is a really convoluted question because you're pulling at multiple threads. I think what I take away from this week is more of a surety within myself and within this moment of time where I'm existing in a very long and very powerful lineage of people that came before me, and actually being able to have the words and the knowledge to speak to that history and to bridge that gap. That would be my takeaway.
Well, I most certainly look forward to speaking with, if not all, most of the people who are here. We definitely have to put some things in stream, ambassadors, both, to be able to make this to happen. Thank you for pushing through the cocktails from last night and making it here this morning. I'm sure there will be exciting times ahead in the next few days.
I can just tell you,
in Barbados.
Tisha, I think more than half of the delegation, perhaps much more than half, are people from her age group. And most of them, the largest part of the delegation, from our family alone, from Minnesota and around there are 67 people from the Port family that are here. But all these young people, they're even more excited about this than we are, because it seems like they finally realize who they are, where they're from, you know, and that uniqueness that they couldn't understand has now become, again, borrowing your word, full circle. They now say, yes, this is who we are. And this place is just like Liberia.
All right, we're going to delve into this some more, but I have to say goodbye for now.
Okay.
So thank you so much for coming in. It's good to see you. We've been in contact, you know, online and via WhatsApp. Again, technology kind of making things so much easier. And Ambassador Comishong has been on this journey forever.
Just let me have the opportunity to present you a personal copy of the book,
I
please.
didn't forget that you said you brought a few copies for your dear friends.
Yeah, exactly. So here's
Get
yours.
out of the
I've
way,
signed it.
Ambassador Comishong.
I really forgot to sign it, so let me sign it.
All right, we're going to take a break here.
Okay.
And come back. Just stay with us. Welcome home to all of the Liberians here in Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get her? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back, welcome back. It's 10 minutes to go before 7 o'clock. The countdown is definitely on. We cannot look past the fact that today is 11 plus day because it's so major in Barbados. And I know there's been much discussion about abolishing the 11 plus with that word, abolishing. But it still is here. And I know the significance it holds with Barbadians. Really is going to be difficult to move past it because it's cultural. It's kind of inborn. At this stage, but you know, greener pastures are being promised, so we'll see what comes after. In the interim though, do not pressure those little ones this morning, okay? So speaking of pressuring little ones, we want to give you some good advice from an organization that really is the brainchild of and as a result of the vision of the Prime Minister of Barbados. And she worked with Minister Corey Lane and his team as a part of the National Peace Program to implement this program that really is all about parenting. So we welcome Nicolette Williams, who's Assistant Director with responsibility for rehabilitation and therapy within the National Peace Program. Good morning. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Surprising, this is your first trip to Morning Barbados, but
I've been here many times before.
With me?
With you, first time with you,
I forgot that part.
Yes.
With me, so welcome.
Thank you.
And Fabian Sargent is a friend to Morning Barbados. You've been here many times over with me, so good to have you here.
It's a pleasure being here.
And to my guests who just left, well, they're still here in studio. No, they're gone by now. Fabian, the dust is doing a number on your eyes.
Yes, Sahara dust has not been good to me this morning.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. We'll talk about that in the next few segments with Dr. Gillian Birchwood. But let's get into this national parenting program. Nicolette, lay the foundation for us first of all. What is it?
All right, so Prime Minister Mia Motley, she did indicate in her manifesto that she was going to implement a national parenting program. And as you said, Tisha, Minister Honorable Corey Lane, under the Attorney General responsible for crime and prevention, he did put this into the National Peace Program to launch it, called Parenting Wise. So we actually launched it on Saturday at Sandals Royal Barbados. And this program is to create impact in the 11 communities across Barbados with 5 NGOs that are on board. And Fabian, being the founder for Men's Empowerment, he's definitely on board with his community. And we will be in the 11 parishes where we will be going to the rural communities and getting parents out from their homes into the community centers for these impacted parenting programs under the facilitation and direction of the National Peace Program.
So over to you, Fabian. Talk to me about how important you think it is for a men's organization by name and nature like yours to be a part of a program like this.
It is extremely important. Parenting is the foundation to our society. Majority of the issues that we grapple with at social level are hinged on parenting. I see actually work with young people on a daily basis, and the issues that I'm faced with, that social workers and psychologists and psychiatrists are faced with in Barbados is amazing. And when you really delve deep into what is causing these issues, oftentimes parenting, lack of parenting skills, parents not connecting with their children, parents not understanding the developmental stages of their children, parents who are also dealing with their own childhood traumas that they have taken into their role as parents that are affecting their relationship with their child. So we have, there are a lot of issues that we need to address, and we all know that one of the very first stages of any type of behavioral change is information. And we really want to get out there to engage parents in a wholesome way, particularly fathers in my instance. We really want to reach the men. There's been a negative type of perception where fathers are concerned nationally, and we really would like to address that in a meaningful way and to really get fathers to receive the information and hoping that we can get them to think differently, act differently, and to be a lot more engaged and involved in the lives of their children.
I think it will call for teaching people how to just get along.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times that's the major source of the problem. People just can't get along. And for people of a certain age, when I say, why can't we all just get along, it will bring back certain memories. There are also some other organizations that are pouring into this program.
Yes.
To make it possible.
Yes, we have the Barbados Association of Public Social Workers. Professional social workers, thanks Fabian. Their main focus is actually looking at social welfare, looking at behavioral children in rural communities. They have particular programs where they'll be going into ethnicals and working with those parents in that institution to help build a more positive impact in their personal homes. We also have CISL, Caribbean Institute of Social Emotional Learning by the famous Tony Olton and his team, where they will be leading workshops on emotional intelligence in parenting, from parenting and in the household as well. We have Amor Empowerment, that is also a parenting and welfare community empowerment center, where they will be actually in the community. Where they're located is in Passage Road near to Baxter's Road, so they're in one of those rural areas, and they do amazing work as well. And then we have Men's and Barbados, National Parenting Team, Barbados. So we don't have to say any more about these 5 organizations that are going to be working with us.
Now, I don't know about the rest of Barbados, but I'm at the stage where I hear of so much happening in our communities that I'm happy there are programs that are targeting the most vulnerable amongst us. But we want to know what's happening, because talk is just that. So beyond the talk, what's happening? You talked about wanting to move into programs that empower men. So let's talk about these programs. How will they roll out and what will be done to make the impact that is desired?
Yeah, so we structured a program where we're going to really generate the conversation. So we're going to start online, where we're hoping to have 10 video podcasts, but it may actually be 12 based on the topics. And these topics, we're going to have our professionals, we're going to have some of the laymen. But this is really, while we're having a conversation, it's more about education and really touching the root of issues that men really face. And if you allow me, some of the topics that we'll be looking at, the fears of fatherhood, overcoming challenges of the cultural expectations of men, fathering teenagers, what type of legacies fathers should leave for their sons and their children, the importance of fathers in the daughters' lives. And I mean, there are 12 of them. And we really want to generate that conversation where we have people feeding back in, I guess their comments and so forth. Then we are going to go into the communities with something called parent pop-up clinics. But these parent clinics are going to be augmented with a number of walkthroughs where we actually go out to these fathers, we go out to these homes, and mothers are invited to. I mean, while we are targeting fathers, it doesn't mean that mothers cannot access the services or be involved in any way. We just really want to put some emphasis on getting the men involved. And these clinics are going to be extremely important. There's not everybody that will go to a workshop. Not everybody will go and sit down for a couple hours and listen. But they would come out to have a nice one-on-one and chit-chat about the issues that they're facing if they know that they're in a safe environment, confidential environment with a group of professionals. And that is the environment we really want to provide. We're also going to have a virtual online situation where they can chat room. Persons can come in, you don't have to declare your name, where they can chat. We're going to have our WhatsApp support group. And we also have some of our workshops where we're utilizing the parents through our Safe Zone program with our young people that we have registered, our young boys in our Safe Zone program who are 12 to 18 years old. So that is, I guess, is the first stage. You know, the project is going to run for a year, and I believe we're going to repeat after. And then based on the successes, based on the evaluation of our projects this year, then we will tweak and move forward. But the aim for us, particularly Men Empowerment Network support, is to reach as many men as we possibly can across Barbados.
Nicolette, time for you to boast about some of the successes of the program so far.
Yes, definitely. Men's have started their program about 2 weeks now. The ending of April. Barbados actually had their second parenting workshop at CP. Definitely. Yes. And a lot of persons are coming out. Fabian said on last week Saturday he had about 33 parents. That is a big number because we know that parents who say I have work, I have no one to keep the children, but when parents put themselves first and numbers increase every single week, that is a major impact, and that's a great start for the Parent Wise Community Program.
And I know, that you mentioned that there were a number of organizations that were attempting to do this kind of on their own. Yeah. And I know that Supreme Counseling for Personal Development with Sean Clark, they were doing a lot of work. I went into the community. We went into several communities over the last few months, and there is a need for it. I myself have learned so much in these parenting classes. For me, I always share this with people because one of the things that was said that stuck with me is a lot of us parent our children as they age like they're still little. Yep. Yeah. So we're parenting 15-year-olds like they're 2-year-olds. And it's important to kind of bring them along. That's just one thing I learned. And it has made the world of difference in terms of how I engage with the children who look up to me and who are part of my life. So these little things can really make the difference in terms of how we can change people's lives, Fabian. And I know that this is a journey of love for you as well. Yes.
And it's important that, I know you said parenting classes, and it is important that people understand. It's not a case where you come to us, we're telling you how to parent. The whole process is about giving you extra tools, an extra toolkit. I always say, carpenters back in the day use chalk and line. These days they got lasers, but it doesn't mean that they still don't revert to chalk and line. I like
to call it sharing.
They use the tools. I mean, you develop certain tools, as various situations arise, you know. And I guess it's really for parents to reach out and accept the help that is the helpline that is being thrown to them. Now, Nicolette spoke of the fact that we have started our sessions. We actually have a session this Saturday, the 11th of May, at the Derek Smith School. This is in Jackman's, St. Michael, and we are looking at parenting Gen Z in a post-COVID era. And we are still impacted by COVID in a major way. You know, I have a 7-year-old son, and during COVID, he was 3, 4, 5. He went to school at 6. Those were 3 years, 3 critical years where he had limited socialization, where he was not able to run both outside and fall down and negotiate and learn these conflict management skills that children usually learn. So now 3 years practically chipped out of his life, he's now trying to manage the school environment like many other children and many other older children. So we don't look at the fact that, you know, children had 3 years pretty much carved out of their life where they had limited socialization, which is important. That helps develop the skills for them to really mature into productive adults. You know, so we really like parents to come out and really get the information. We start at 2 o'clock, and Sean Springer, social worker counselor, he's going to be the facilitator. Refreshments will be served. It is free. You don't have to pay. You know, so Derek Smith School this Saturday at 2 o'clock.
It's a great facility as well. How do we connect online?
Well, you can contact us at the National Parenting Program to Ms. Allison Roach Plummer. She's our director. As well as you can connect with us on Instagram and DM us, private message us, and our social media marketing manager will respond to you. Registration forms are coming out through the 5 NGOs, and once you connect or contact them individually as well, they also will have that information to disseminate to the communities as well.
All right, so to reinforce, Saturday, Derek Smith School.
2 p.m. And we're looking at parenting Gen Z in a post-COVID era, and that's facilitated by Sean Springer.
And for the record, Gen Z, those are the little ones.
Yes, those are
last
little
generation.
ones. Yes, correct.
Yeah. You guys are doing fantastic work.
Thank you so much.
Just to say that. Keep on keeping on. And I know that we've listed 5 NGOs, but it calls for the support of so many other people and organizations to be able to make it work.
Yes.
Particularly for those people who feel like they're on the fringes. Those are sometimes the most important people to kind of bring along, because a lot of the times, not that you don't want them, but the people that you don't need to see are the people who will most likely come along. But we want to make sure that these programs are inclusive. So it's wonderful to see men involved.
Yes, thank you very much. We are really elated to be part of this process.
All right, so Fabian Sargent, you'll be seeing more of him. Don't worry about that podcast. That's just one part of his work. I have lots more work for him to do, and he's up to the time. Believe it. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, Nicolette Williams, Assistant Director with responsibility for rehabilitation and therapy within the National Peace Program, and Fabian Sargent, Founder Director of Men's Barbados.
Yes, please.
Men Empowerment
Network
Support.
Yes, that's us.
Good stuff. Hey, it's time for another break here on Morning Barbados. Coming up, we are talking with Dr. Gillian Birchwood. It's World Asthma Day, and there's lots happening. Fabian is here complaining about the Sahara dust and how it's affecting his eyes. But for many of us, it's been long days with all types of issues with sneezing and coughing and this and that and the other. What's happening? And particularly, how can we take care of our little ones? That's all coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us
It's past 7 o'clock if you had to be there at 7 and you're still at home, you're a little late, but I can understand if you felt the need to sleep in a little bit because for some reason, all of the dust and so on has been making us feel a little lethargic. So good morning to you, Dr. Gillian Birchwood. Always great to see you. She's consultant pediatrician and neonatologist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Always making time for us here on Morning Barbados. So you're not in studio with me this morning, but welcome nonetheless.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? How are you coping with all this Sahara dust?
All right. I will show you my inhaler on this World Asthma Day, which is something I never thought I would be saying, but here we are. So let's go back for a bit because I feel like asthma has been on the back burner for a minute with us. For a long time in my youth, asthma was kind of up front and center. There were a lot of people who seemingly had asthma and we heard a lot about it. And then it kind of went dormant, I think, for a minute. And now it's full-fledged in our face again. So let's go back to the beginning. What is asthma?
Yes, so that is a great place to start. So asthma is actually one of the most common chronic diseases of childhood. And it affects in Barbados about 20% of children aged 6 or 7 years old. And we have one of the highest incidence of asthma in the entire world. So that is to compare with 14% of children in the United States aged 6 to 7 who are diagnosed with asthma. So it's very common in our setting, unfortunately. And asthma is actually an inflammatory condition of the airways. And when someone is having asthma, two main things are happening. Number one, you have a buildup of inflammation on the inner lining of the airways, which makes the airways narrow from the inside. And number two, you have tightening of the muscles that are around the small airways deep down inside the lungs. So the combination of tightening of the muscles around the airways and buildup of inflammation and mucus on the inside of the airways means that your airways become much more narrow. And so people who have asthma will feel chest tightness because they have difficulty breathing in and out. They will have a cough that's often chesty, and you can see why from all the mucus that's there. And they may have difficulty with just breathing and going about their normal day-to-day activities like physical education, sports, and things like that. So it really is bothersome to people who are affected by it in their day-to-day lives.
Let's double back and bring the children along for a little bit because with older people, they might be able to describe that, or older children, teenagers, they might be able to describe how they're feeling. But for babies, very little ones, how do we decipher this is asthma?
Well, the thing is, in quite young children, those who are under the age of 5, whenever they have viral illnesses, they may wheeze, but that does not necessarily mean that they are asthmatic. If you find that they only wheeze and have these symptoms with viruses and with colds, and they don't have symptoms in between, we really would not make a diagnosis of asthma. But as they get older, if you find that they're having episodes even in between triggers like viruses, which are very common for children, then we'd be more likely to make a diagnosis of asthma when they are a little bit older. But for very young children under the age of 5, we're less likely to make that diagnosis of asthma.
So how's it treated? A lot of the times when we think of asthma, we go to the Ventolin inhaler. A lot of people think about this. I know there are some other options as well, depending on how severe it is. So let's talk about how we treat it.
Yes. So remember that diagram with the two different mechanisms. So we have the tight muscles around the airways, and we have the buildup of mucus on the inside. So when we are treating asthma, when somebody's having an asthmatic attack, the blue inhaler or the Ventolin inhaler that you just mentioned, that inhaler actually helps to relax the tight muscles that are around the airways. But it doesn't do anything to address the buildup of mucus that's on the inside of the airways. And that's where we end up using steroid medications. If you're having an attack at the moment, you will end up being prescribed very likely an oral steroid. And when parents hear the word steroid, they get very worried and think that children are going to be bodybuilders and have lots of chest hair or something. But fortunately, that's not the case. If you use the steroids, which are designed to reduce inflammation, they are adjusted according to the weight and size of the child, and they also are only prescribed for a short period of time, typically 5 days on average. And you will find that that combined with medications to help reduce the tight muscles will be effective in dealing with an acute asthma attack. But if, for example, you are triggered by the Sahara dust, and we know that we've had all these thick layers moving through the atmosphere, then you will want to make sure you use preventative medication. And that would mean that you should not just use a Ventolin inhaler. You'll want to use an inhaled steroid, which deposits very, very tiny amounts into the airways directly to help prevent that inflammatory response, to help prevent that buildup of mucus in the first place. And prevention is what we are definitely aiming for.
What's the quality of life for people who are living with asthma, particularly young children?
Yes. Young children love to run about. They're, engage in sports, lots of physical activities. And so when they go to school and when they're going about their daily lives, they can be really affected if their asthma is not well managed. So a key feature, and one of the things that we're always talking to parents of children who are asthmatic about, is prevention. They can have an excellent quality of life if they recognize that their child is asthmatic, because acceptance is very hard sometimes for parents. And if you are aware that your child is asthmatic and you can use the preventative medication, get the inflammation under control, then you can have an excellent normal quality of life. You can engage in sports. When you have a virus, you're less likely to wheeze. You're not going to be missing school. If there's Sahara dust, which may be a trigger for some, then you're not likely to end up developing the symptoms. Some people have very seasonal symptoms and will only need treatment at certain times of the year, and they're pretty fine for the rest of the year. But a common misconception is that you have to be on an inhaler forever. Fortunately, that's not the truth. You can get things under control and you can step down and back off on the care once you are having good management of your symptoms.
Now, Dr. Birchwood, are there any foods or activities that asthmatics should absolutely avoid?
Well, in terms of foods, that's a good question, because some people are allergic to certain foods. Not every asthmatic, but some are allergic to certain foods, which may be a trigger either as part of their asthma, or if you are having an anaphylactic or really severe allergic reaction to food, wheezing can be a part of it, even if you're not asthmatic. So for some people, you hear a lot about people saying milk causes these symptoms. That's not the case across the board for everyone who's asthmatic. You don't have to avoid dairy products simply because you are asthmatic. But physical activity is encouraged once your asthma is well controlled. And some children, exercise may trigger wheezing, and that they can take that Ventolin inhaler before they are going to engage in sports. It's PE day or it's sports day, or they're going to be, running track. They can take the inhaler about half an hour to an hour or so before they engage in physical activity, and then their symptoms should be under control. So there's lots you can do to prevent the symptoms and have a normal quality of life.
Now, I know that in Barbados, people love to make little fires. They talk about burning stuff and things like that. And this is something that we've tried to combat throughout the years. So let's talk to the community as we look toward the theme for World Asthma Day, which is Asthma Education Empowers, about how they can be impacting lives. by doing what they might think is a simple task.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up because people might think, oh, I'm just going to burn a little rubbish in my backyard, but they don't realize in the houses around them, there may be children and adults who suffer with asthma, and inhaling that smoke can really be a major trigger. And so I really would encourage people not to do these things because, burning fuel might be something you do in the morning for 45 minutes, but that child or that adult who's living in the house close to you might be laid up with a really terrible asthmatic attack for the next week or so. So I think it's very, very important to be aware of our neighbors when we are thinking about engaging in these activities. And it may not simply be in the house next to yours, it might be in your neighborhood. And I have definitely seen children quite a few times who've had to present to the doctor who had well-managed asthma, but their neighbor in the neighborhood started with a fire, and then they went over the top, ended up in hospital, and that neighbor who started burning that garbage or whatever they're burning is not aware of the impact that they have had a few houses down the road. So please don't do that in your neighborhoods. Please don't.
Now, I had some stats in the last few weeks that said that they're seeing more people in their 40s and 50s developing asthma here in Barbados. Do we know what's contributing to this rise in asthma in people of these ages?
Well, the 40s and 50s is a little bit outside of the age range that I see. But yes, I have heard this information that, people who are in middle to later life are having more asthma. Part of it is recognition. Because when I was a wee lass just a few years ago,
not a wee
asthma
lass.
was not something. Just a few years ago. So when I was very young, asthma was something that was not a diagnosis that was made, even though children would have wheezing, would have episodes that when you look back on them, clearly were related to asthma. It was a diagnosis that people were reluctant to make. Now, when they're getting older now, it's true that people start having symptoms into middle life. Clear why this is the case, but certainly people are having an increasing amount of diagnosis in middle life. They're not sure if it's related to pollution in the environment, although we're seeing it even in countries where we do not have much industrialized pollution, like in the Eastern Caribbean, for example. We're not sure of exactly the role of genetics and environment, but it's true that the incidence has been increasing.
All right, so there's an online question. I didn't quite hear it when you told me, Roel, so tell me again. If you had asthma as a child.
In terms of the reason.
If you had asthma as a child.
If you had.
Hold on.
Yes.
What's the end of it?
Go ahead. If you had asthma as a child, they were much less likely to make that diagnosis. People were reluctant to make that diagnosis. And so you may not have had that diagnosis in your childhood, but you actually had asthma. And then when you get older now, there are genetic factors and environmental factors like pollution, which really may cause you to have these symptoms resurge once again.
And people usually say, Dr. Birch, well, we make fun. I call my sister Cynthia Dr. Hines because she has the remedy for everything. But usually when you have these problems with congestion and so on, people say, well, just go to the beach, dunk your head in the water. And there are all types of old wives' tales. Some people talk about boiling lizards, even people here at CBC talking about boiling lizards and drinking the lizard soup. Not me, but some of these old wives' tales, I'm sure you've heard of them. Any truth to any of this?
Now, I think that although there has not been any research on people dunking their head in the water, I've had lots of parents swear that their children's, sinus-like symptoms, for example, have improved a lot. And, sinusitis is inflammation of the airways, asthma is inflammation of the upper airways, asthma is inflammation of the lower airways. But parents swear by dunking their children. I can't say that there's any information in the medical literature to either refute that or back it up. The lizard tea, I am not so sure. It doesn't sound so tasty. But you never know. Sometimes these old wives' tales have a little truth to them, I wouldn't dismiss it altogether. But I'll let you try the lizard tea first and tell me what you think of it.
I will never know. I will never know. Lizard tea, never, never, never. Your final words for Barbadians on this World Asthma Day.
Well, I want people to know that if your child has a diagnosis of asthma, that you should not be afraid, that there's so much more that can be done to have a good quality of life with asthma. You should not be afraid of the word steroids. If your child is prescribed an inhaled steroid, it can really give your child a much better quality of life, and it does not cause significant long-term impact. And so you should stick with the plan that your doctor has given you. And finally, you should have an asthma action plan, knowing what symptoms to look out for in your child that will let you know that they are starting to have a flare-up of their asthma, and so that you can step in and make sure that they are not likely to have a full-blown attack.
Thank you so much, Dr. Birchwood. Always insightful. And we most certainly look forward to observing this day in a major way. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Good luck to all the kids for common entrance.
You know, we can't get past it. We have to tell them that. So, you know, make sure you walk with your inhalers, parents, for the little ones. Sometimes when they get a little anxious, you can see that coming on as well. So have a great day, Dr. Birchwood.
You too. Take care.
All right. And you, hey, have a good day today. And remember, you know, asthma in education is very important to changing the way we look at it and treat it. All right, time for another break here on Morning Barbados, but we have a whole lot more coming up, so don't you go anywhere.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb. From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. 7:25 in the land. Travel safely as you head on out this morning. So we want to talk to you about something really, really important, and we would have brought it to the public's attention a little while ago. It really was an initiative of Barbados Trust Loans, that particular body, but now we're seeing lots more smaller trusts and individuals kind of get together and make this all possible. From 13 founding members, here we are today. Help me welcome Hal Welch, who is a floor member, and Kelly Welch, who is the VP Unified Trust Co-op Society. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll start with you, Kelly, only because we have to start with the lady, of course. Talk to us a little bit about what you have been up to be able to get to this place.
Well, I'm a member of the Barbados Trust Fund, myself and Hal, and this is really an initiative from the Trust Fund. So we decided we are from 3 different sectors: health and beauty, wine and spirits, and condiments and confectionaries. We came together and formed a cooperative. We did a manifest program where we got to revamp our business, get help in public speaking, in budgeting and managing our business. So the initiative was, let us come together, make it easier for entrepreneurs to maneuver, learn things, work with one another, and grow in our business.
All right, what initially piqued your interest and how did you get involved?
The idea of support for our various businesses, and it's an opportunity for us to really work together, collaborative with like-minded persons that is able to work hard together. Cooperative is actually hard work. As you would know, working with others sometimes can be a bit challenging, but we think that if we can get some like-minded persons, that we can really elevate ourselves and elevate businesses in Barbados. In fact, the businesses in Barbados, we're basically most Barbadian stuff, and we're pretty good. Barbadians are pretty good in inventing and creating things, and it's a well-hidden secret, and that's what we want to get out there. That's the idea of the co-op, to kind of like effectively work together to market and distribute, find channels to distribute the stuff of Barbadians, because we create a lot of good things, and we want to do that. We want to set this platform that not only the region, but the whole world can see some of the products that we create here in Barbados.
That's a great plan. In real terms, Kelly, what does a cooperative mean? You mentioned how it's working together, working toward common goals, getting products out there. But when I say in real terms, I mean, what do you guys do to make this happen?
Well, right now we are going to be launching on the 11th of May at Botanical Gardens, 9 till 5. So this is an opportunity where Barbadians could come on down, get together and see what we're offering. We're going to be having, we're going to do a pop-up also, where we're going to showcase our other clients, our vendors, where there's going to be wines, sampling, there are going to be health and beauty products, condiments. There's going to be Chef Gregory Himes. He's going to be doing a live demonstration. Oh, sorry. Our pop-up is called Living Well, Aging Well. So Chef Hines is going to be doing a live cooking demonstration, displaying how we can eat better, live better. There's going to be Amanda Maximilian. She's going to be speaking about, she's going to be doing a stretch therapy session. So it's going to be interactive with the public. I'm asking everyone to come on down and see and enjoy a fun day of exercise and still education. You understand? So we're going to have a wide variety of things too. There are going to be martial arts displays.
Yes. I'll be demonstrating.
Mr. Welcher is going to be demonstrating. We're going to have Roy Downs. He's of One in Night and It Reflects. He's going to come on down and demonstrate too. Miss Amanda Maximilian, right? She's a physiotherapist. She's going to be showing you how to do stretching and answering questions if you need any, because it's very important, stretching. But we don't do it every day.
This is absolutely true. Now, this is coming off Saturday, May 11th, 9 to 5 p.m. at the Botanical Gardens. Living Well, Aging Well. Why that theme for the launch of your cooperative?
It is important to age well. And we've found that people in Barbados kind of don't age well. They don't look forward to being old. I look forward to being old. I'm excited that I'm aging. And you need to do it well. You know how you're getting old when the stuff that used to live upstairs start to live downstairs. I'm basically,
the imagery, get out of my head.
I'm basically, you need to eat well. You need to treat people well. You have to have basically a good manner, in how you respond to aging. Accept the age, but treat yourself, pamper yourself.
Also, this is the age of a lot of non-communicable diseases.
Yes.
So we want people to be more aware of what you do. And when I was a child, we had the late, great Carmita Fraser. you are what you eat.
You're aging yourself.
Yeah.
So I always remember that what you put in is what you get out. So we just want people to come on down. We're going to have free health checks too. The
Yes.
Heart and Stroke Foundation is going to be there. The AIDS Society is going to be there. Also the Diabetes Association. So you're going to have free health checks. You're going to have workout sessions. It's going to be very interactive. So come on down and see what's going on.
And of course, the products and services
The products and
Yes.
that are
services.
being offered through the members of the cooperative will be on display as well.
Yes, of course.
So talk to us a little bit about
Okay.
who else will be there
So-
in terms of the members of the
So there are
cooperative.
13 founding members. We have Uniquely Crafted. She does an array of products. She does health and beauty and also wines. We have Wusa Wines. She does natural wines. There's also myself, Kelly's Natural Products. I do a wider range of health and beauty products, tooth powders, toothpaste, natural deodorants. We have Hal. He does bakery. He's a baker, sorry. And he does a whole variety. I think he has over 12 sugar cake flavors, different flavors. He has nut cakes, gluten-free products, vegan products too. There is Marvel, our president. She does natural products too. We have Nicole, which is Crystoli Creations. She does a wide range of products. We have so many people coming on down. There's Colonel Army. She does a different varieties of popcorns. We have many people coming on down.
Yeah, and I saw you smiling.
Yeah, we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are you looking forward to most, though, Hal, as a member of the cooperative, as a floor member? I know that a lot of the times we start these things, and particularly when you're working with big groups, you know, it can be challenging to have a quorum sometimes,
Yes.
or even to get people on board with some initiatives. What are you working toward? What are you hoping for?
A more collaborative effort, support each other. The idea of the co-op is that every person have a voice. It is just not one leader. So we all work together to achieve success. This is what it's about. And this is what we're taught since we've been through the Manifest program. We are educated now, so we need to act as though we are educated as far as businesses is concerned, and really working together to achieve one common goal. That is to effectively allow our businesses to go the whole scope of Barbados, regionally and internationally. That's the idea. Because in fact, one of our co-op members, she started to export already her pepper sauce. So we can go far if we work together. The idea is to work. I know sometimes we like to work the crap in the bucket system, but as black people, as Barbadians, I think that we need to work together. We can achieve more, even if we are importing stuff, we can do it together, and the cost would have been less. You know, so these are things that we need to do together, and we need each other in light of experiences. All of us have different experiences when it comes to business and life, and we can share experiences with each other so that we can propel the co-op to do much better.
And all successful business people will tell you that they have people who collaborate with them, or partners who do different aspects of what they do. There's hardly any successful business person who does everything
That's true.
themselves.
That's true.
So this is the beginning of something great. And of course, they're doing the official launch.
Yes.
This is a year. We launched the 16th of May last year. So this is a year, and we're going to launch the night at Botanical Gardens, 11th of May.
Well, I'm so happy you're still going strong a year on. That says a great deal. And you can boast of a member who is now exporting the products. And that gives insight for the other members, but it also is a source of motivation, I would imagine.
Correct.
For
We
those
also
who want to be a part of that.
We're starting a store down Hammond's also.
We're soon going to be open in Hammond's.
It's soon going to be open.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to be a collective too for other entrepreneurs. Join the co-op. You work through certain things that you have to work through, and you also have a chance to be down there.
Well, I have one complaint. You know, I'm a visual girl, so I should be seeing some Wusa wines here on the set this morning.
Sorry, it's true.
And I should be seeing some of these
Kelly's products and stuff
these
like that.
baked goods that we've been talking about, and some of Kelly's natural products.
Yeah.
So when you guys come back, which means that's an invitation to come back.
Yes, no problem.
Once you come back with everyone, and let's show Barbadians what you're offering, so people can see the work.
Yes.
Definitely.
This was just to really talk about the launch, though. So next time we will definitely bring everyone.
You're going to need a bigger table when we come.
Listen, we can fit everybody.
No problem.
Our furnishings are provided by Standard, and they have loads of chairs.
Okay.
So we bring in some additional chairs, and we'll start it out, man.
Right. So we're going to bring products. You may have to get a container.
So you can take them.
Yeah. So make sure you come out and support, because these are business people supporting each other, so that we can get the best possible products and services coming out of Barbados. All right, they're launching on Saturday. That's May 11th. I can't believe it's May 11th already.
Yes.
9 in the morning to 5 in the evening. So you have no excuse. You have the entire day to come through. The theme is living well, aging well, and they're going to be launching the cooperatives officially.
Yes.
This time around.
And it's free.
Celebrating 1 year.
Yes.
And it's absolutely free. So come out and lend your support, even if you can come through for just an hour or two.
Yes.
Get your checks.
Or maybe you want to come and relax
Have your
for
health
the day.
checks.
We know the botanical garden certainly lends to that type of atmosphere.
Definitely.
So congratulations, a year on, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
And all that jazz.
Yes.
Good to have both of you with us. Kelly Welch and Hal Welch. No, they're not related or married. I asked that only because I am in true Bajan form, as we say in Bajan parlance, malicious. So good to have both of you with us, and we look forward to having you back with the products and services that are on show.
Yes, you're welcome.
This is all about business people working together. Love to see it. All right, time for another break, but stay with us. We have more coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Boss me about so bad in this studio. If you guys only knew, I should really be pushing back. No, I'm not doing it on live TV, right? But I have some people here who are witnesses to all the drama. Good morning to you, Margaret Grant. So good to have you back with us.
Thank you.
I know that we did a series in the past, getting children ready for secondary school, and here we are on 11 Plus Day 2024. So this is fortuitous in more ways than one. And Stephen Brown, is a past student of the St. Michael's School.
That's right, yes, right.
So good to have you with us as well. So we're here to talk about the SMS Alumni-powered Career Showcase, celebrating 96, and of course highlighting all that the school has been doing and will continue to do. So I'll start with you, Ms. Grant. Talk to us a little bit about the St. Michael's School as you look to celebrate your 96th year.
Okay, the St. Michael's School, it was founded actually on the 7th of May in 1928, and it was really designed to help black girls who were bright but poor. And we have come a long way in the sense that we are now looking at 96 years in the face. And this year we want to have 96 past students to come and showcase their careers, their skills, their talents, their expertise, show the current students where they are right now, because some years ago they were in their shoes. And this is really an opportunity to help students come face to face with practitioners in various fields. And we are looking at all the various career clusters. There are about 16 of them, and we want as many various careers to be exhibited as possible.
Well, the boys only came 51 years or so in.
Yeah.
1979 or thereabouts.
That's right.
Boys came to the St. Michael's School. Let's talk about your experience with SMS.
Yeah, well, I luckily was one of the first boys that came in 1979.
The boys that came.
Yes, we came. We invaded the school at that time. So yeah, so I have a great experience. Obviously, when I first came, it was a little reluctant, when your parents put that St. Michael's on your form, you weren't exactly happy, but that you got there, and it's been a great experience. Now this is something years later, 40-something years later. Many of us, the first boys, have been really participating in the school, actually very active. And I, for one, Ms. Grant has always called me in to assist with mentoring the youngsters, and I've been encouraged to do that. So I've been part of the alumni in the executive and in different capacities. So this year, when she called me again, I stepped up and I said, here we go. Here's another chance to give back to the school. So what I want to do this year is do what we've been doing for a while, which is highlighting all the good students that have come through St. Michael's School. And there are quite a few of them, especially in the boys. So we didn't just invade.
I don't believe that's only the boys, especially the boys, especially he said, Ms. Brad. What does he mean? Let's boast a little bit about St. Michael's School and some of those students that we're talking about who've come through the gates.
I think there are a lot of boys, though, who have really done well.
Ouch.
Yeah. There are a lot of boys. And I think the boys need to be promoted because we have so many girls. We have Dame Nita Barrow, Dame Patricia Simmons, Dame Maisie Barker-Welch, Leo Martindale, Renee Coppin, and the list goes on. And we have boys like Dr. Don Marshall, well, boys, but
boys to men.
Men.
Boys to men.
Right, exactly. Nathan Lovell, who is our first scholarship winner, homegrown scholarship winner. He's now in his 5th year, I think, of medicine. There's so many that they're not coming to mind right now, but they're in sports. Jason Holder, they're in sports, they're in music, they're in politics, medicine, law, teaching, farming. We have them all over.
Now let's talk more about this alumni-powered career showcase. When does it come off? And, what are you hoping to come of it?
Okay, so it will be during the month of May. And we have it done, we have pop-up sessions. So it'll be during lunchtime from 11 to 12 on Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the month of May. Registration forms are out, and we are really urging alumni members, both local and overseas, to participate. The ones overseas, we can set up online sessions for them, and the ones who are local, obviously they can choose the date that they best prefer. And they just come in. We have about 12. We had them for 8 days, 12 different persons on each day. And that makes 96.
Do you have a strong alumni association, would you say?
It is a work in progress. We are getting, over the years, we've had peaks and valleys. Right now, I think we're in a slight valley. So this opportunity comes a great way for us to build it back up again. The alumni have every year they're present in some form or fashion. We always do Christmas hampers, we always do events. But this year we are trying now to get the younger alumni members back involved with our school. So what we want to do with the Career Showcase, what we want to do is encourage a database where we can put a website where we can network with each others, and so also provide a facility that not only the present students who are at the event, but students that come in the future will also learn about who went to St. Michael's School. So
this is a really great time for the former students to step forward, though. Every other child wants to go to SMS.
Yes, it's become really popular.
It's a really good time. And as you mentioned, I wore SMS colors today just for you. Oh dear. You know, so I'm representing for the Cougars especially.
There you go. Thank you very much.
But what does an active and strong alumni association mean to the school? I think that's important for us to articulate.
It gives the students who are there currently an idea that this is where I can be eventually. It gives them hope. It gives them inspiration. It helps them to recognize that I am it's a journey. And where I am right now, as tough as school might be or might appear to be, I wouldn't be here all the time. I always tell students, you would not be blown away all the time. A time will come when you have to step out of it, step into the real world. And therefore, the older students can really mentor the younger ones. And every year during orientation week, we have an opportunity for past students to come in and speak to the younger ones. And it's always an awesome opportunity. Well appreciated by both parties.
I can just imagine. So it's happening over time, and I love that you're kind of doing it as little sessions at lunch where children can connect with former students. And you're also hoping to be able to draw in some former students so that they can be far more active. Calling Diane Ford.
Correct.
Calling Dale Ford.
Kurt Brown.
Kurt Brown. Come on out.
There you go.
Melvin Atwell. Darian.
We could name names forever, right? That's right. But definitely Erica Griffith. Good morning. So, I mean, there's so many former SMS students who really can pour into the school in this 96th year. That says a great deal. As you head to 100, as you head to 100, I want to wish you all the best and continue to keep us in the loop of what's happening with the Cougars. You guys have been innovating in ways that you cannot imagine in terms of how you engage even your students over the last few years, and all of the others are looking on. So that says a great deal. SMS people, come out and represent. Remember, it is a career showcase with a difference.
Correct.
So it will be staggered for the next few weeks. So if you're a former student of SMS, come on, register.
Even if a friend of the school, parents of students, and we did this last year, and first formers, it was really inspiring to see first formers connecting with the career professionals. It was, and therefore we want them to think career even from first form. So it's critical now for the third formers who are into preparing their options for fourth form. So we really want to see those 96 people coming out and engaging the students. And we're even inviting parents to come in during those career sessions to actually hear for themselves.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Grant and Mr. Brown, for coming in and sharing with us. Yeah, and what a wonderful day to talk about it on 11 Plus Day. So, keep that top of mind today. It's time for another break. When we come back, we're telling you more about the Roger Boys Classic that's coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Prepping you for the Roger Boys Classic 2024. Today is no different. Shakira is back with us. She's PRO. She is practically family now, so you know her. She's brought along Lamar Corrard, and he is the IFB Elite Pro Men's Classic Physique Champion for 2023. Welcome back. I dare say you look a little stronger
you
this
can see
year.
it through the jacket?
I can see it through the jacket. Also here is Joseph Oyata Oduk, who is representing for Kenya. Welcome to Barbados.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. And online joining us is Ambassador Kimberly Percival. She's joining us from neighboring Antigua, and she is the reigning bikini fitness title winner 2 years in a row, and I'm told you're defending. So because you're online, we're going to start with you, Madam Ambassador. I remember at the end of the show last year, they named a couple people who were going to be ambassadors for 2024. That must have been a real honor, but we are happy to see that amazing trophy wall behind you. Talk to us about your career in fitness.
Good morning, and thank you for having me again. And yes, an extreme honor to be named ambassador for Barbados for this event. I remember my first regional event was in Barbados. Back then it was the Darcy Beckles Classic. I've had the opportunity of competing alongside Shakira as well. So watching the progression over the years and being bestowed that honor of being considered ambassador for the Roger Boys Classic, I'm definitely over the moon.
That's beautiful. Lamar, what's the last year been like for you after performing so well at last year's event?
The year has been a lot of growth, a lot of realizations, a lot of prep, pretty much trying some different techniques in training and dieting, trying to put on more size to be more competitive. So after stepping on into the international scene, I mean, all shows are international, but after qualifying for World Championships, we went back to the drawing board to try to be, like I said, more competitive and get to the semis, get to the finals. So last year was pretty much just showing that I belonged amongst the pro ranks. So this year now is about carving out a space for myself amongst the best of the best.
You definitely belong amongst the pro ranks. Joseph, yes. You're a competitor in the men's physique. I'm interested in hearing about your life to this to getting you to this place in fitness and bodybuilding?
I started my journey back in 2016, locally, competing in Kenya, where I won the national title. Then fast forward in 2022, I competed at the Arnold Classic Africa, where I earned my pro card. So this will be my pro debut. This will be my first pro show.
All right, so why did you decide to come to the Roger Boys Classic?
It's a very competitive show, and I'd like to gauge myself in the league, so I figured I'd take the risk and fly all the way down here.
All right, grab the proverbial cow by the horns. I don't know if that's what they say, Shakira, but you get what I'm talking about.
I do.
So you're shaping up. We're seeing athletes arrive. What's happening behind the scenes?
What's happening right now is that we have so many athletes that would have arrived. We would have had from Kenya, from Belgium, from Russia, and it just speaks to the quality show that we're going to put on, and we have been putting on for a number of years. It's actually exciting to see a number of athletes return, and also athletes who are coming for the very first time. Like, for example, he would have traveled beyond 22 hours just to come to Barbados. And like I said a couple of times, all of these athletes have other options that are closer to them. And our island, you know, as tiny as it may be, we're big in this. We have a footing in the bodybuilding terrain, right? And we will continue to grow. We're gonna continue to put on an awesome event. So in terms of behind the scenes, in terms of our local athletes, they are working really hard. We have Lamar Coward, we have Ramona Morgan, Dion Thompson, another defending champion for the ladies body fitness. Is also, I'm really happy to see Kimberly Percival come again this year. Obviously, she's a top competitor not only in Barbados, but in the world. She would have come first in 2022, also defending her title then as well in the World Championship. So we have persons coming from World Championships coming to Barbados, all on one stage, over 80 professional athletes who will be on stage. So it's a grand event.
All right, before we go back to Kimberly, it happens May 9th to 11th at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium. Times?
Starting at 10 a.m. for the amateurs. The Roger Boys Classic is the amateur show at 10 a.m. And then at 5:30 p.m. we have the IFBB Elite Pro World Cup.
Good stuff. Kimberly, no pressure.
Yes.
Defending 2 times on. You know, how have you been getting ready for the stage?
This year, similar to Lamar, you had to assess, and I wanted to bring my best RBC look to date, and I can comfortably say I think I'm doing that. It meant a lot to me to elevate what I've brought to the stage in previous years, especially with this show essentially graduating and becoming a World Cup. I know the caliber of athletes that are planning to attend this event, and I could do nothing else but bring my absolute best to the stage, and I can safely say I think I'm doing that.
All right, I know that Lamar is really good at posing and all that stuff because I got some personal training last year. We have it on camera to show. But what are you looking forward to most? Again, you two are defending in the Pro Men's Classic Physique category.
Oh boy, I am excited to see more athletes. Well, I should say higher caliber athletes attend the show. Like they said earlier, everybody is flying from all over the world. So wow, whoa! I tried, huh? Right. So
I'm so embarrassed.
Great job.
I know
I'm a good posing coach.
That threw you, Lamar. Oh,
all right. Right. But like I was saying, after competing at different stages across the world, we now have more athletes coming, which means the competition is even higher. And if you are any kind of fierce competitor, you actually welcome it. And like Kimberly said, she's trying to bring her best. And I think the most respectful thing you can do to the highest form of competition is bring your absolute best. So I'm really looking forward to take some vengeance for some names that may have beaten me last year. No personal grudges, it's all friendly competition.
Oh, vengeance with no grudges. Listen.
But I think that's what I'm most looking forward to.
Good stuff. So you've been warned. We certainly look forward to seeing you and all of the other international athletes or athletes from outside of Barbados who are coming here to compete. And some of them who are defending, our good friend from Suriname as well, I'm told he's going
I'm
to
going
be
to
back.
bring him for
we
you.
have to bring chairs especially for him here in CBC when he comes.
It's true,
Shakira.
it's true, it's true. I believe you will welcome him back, and I'm sure he will look a little bit different. I'm not sure if you're going to cover him showing you how to pose again this year.
Yeah, you
but we
also
would
know
love
me
to
how to
have that
pose.
footage, but I'm just really excited because I think sports has a huge impact outside of the athletes, just the tourism aspect of having persons come to Barbados, return to Barbados, with or even with or without our event happening. Sports tourism is a huge thing as well.
Wow.
Exactly. It keeps our economy growing. You know, it brings interest from all over the globe. And we have persons coming here from places who probably would have never come at any other point in time for any other reason than the Roger Boys Classic and the IFBB Elite Pro.
Patronizing our businesses. So again, thank you so much for coming. We're unfortunately at the end of the show. Shakira also showed me how to pose. She's an official posing coach. So we'll share that with you online though. Nobody wants to see that on actual TV, guys. So thank you for coming in, and we most certainly look forward to seeing more of the athletes.
Yeah.
Today is just Tuesday, but make sure you come out. Let's run off the gymnasium, represent for the Barbadian athletes, but represent for the sport generally. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with you last year. Coming up tomorrow on Morning Barbados, Bamboo Retreat will be here. We're talking HR with HERMAB. The Barbados Consumer Empowerment Network will be in, plus Doc Talk with Dr. John Barker. And who knows, maybe more muscles. On behalf of the entire team, have a great day. Remember to wear your smiles. Do something good for somebody. And come on back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.